All right, and the latest is India has issued an emergency number for its nationals in Iran amid widening conflict in the region. We'll put out the numbers for you in a short while from now. Let's talk to Mr. Fawad Izadi, who's an associate professor at the University of Tehran and also a political commentator. He's now joining us from Tehran. Mr. Izadi, good to see you, and thank you very much for making time for us at this critical juncture. What happens next now? How bad could things go?
You know, it depends on the other side. We were in the middle of negotiations. We were supposed to have the 6th round of negotiations, Oman, tomorrow. And Israel and the United States decided to attack Iran 2 days before the next round of negotiation. Few countries do that. When you're negotiating, you're supposed to negotiate with faith. You're not supposed to be planning to attack the other side in the middle of negotiations.
President Trump
had to respond.
Mr. Izadi, President Trump says that he wants the negotiations or he wants the talks to continue. He actually put out a statement moments ago. But the Iranian side says that the talks are meaningless. So what's the future of these talks?
You know, Mr. Trump is a con man. He engaged in a con job. He was never serious about negotiations. He was never serious about reaching an agreement with Iran. He plotted with Netanyahu to have this relaxed atmosphere in Iran. Iranian leaders thinking that these negotiations are going through. And then he used this opportunity to attack Iranian scientists and Iranian military leaders. So no one takes Trump seriously because he's in the pocket of Netanyahu. He's coordinating with Netanyahu to engage in a deceptive operation against Iran. If he was seriously interested in negotiating with Iran, he would not join Netanyahu in a military attack against Iran. It's not really complicated stuff. Even Trump understands.
Mr. Izadi, I did fail to ask what's the latest in Tehran, but you'll tell me that later. The world has condemned this conflict between Iran and Israel. In fact, China has put out a statement. China's United Nations ambassador Fu Cong says China's stance is clear. The country opposes the escalation of conflict and is deeply concerned about the potential consequences of Israel's actions. The world is condemning this. How do you think Iran and Israel will react? Let's start with Iran.
Well, first of all, condemning Israel is a very simple choice that should not be very complicated, because it was Israel that attacked Iran. You know, Israel attacked Iran a few months ago. Iran decided not to respond because Iran was not interested in a war. And then they attacked Iran again. So responsible countries would condemn Israel. Countries that are not condemning Israel are justifying this type of aggression. And if we live in a world that you can just attack other countries, then no one would be safe. So condemning Israel should be a simple task. And we have had some countries that have done that. And we have had other countries that haven't done it. We have had some countries that blame both sides. Why would you blame Iran when Iran is negotiating and the other side is attacking? Why would you blame Iran in that set? So Iran, what I think Iranian leaders expect is for some common sense. Israel needs to be condemned. Iran will continue sending ballistic missiles into Israel as long as Israelis continue their aggression against Iran. And things are quiet now. Last night there were some Israeli attacks, but in Tehran things are quiet. But we never know when they're done with this type of aggression. We do know that they're a genocidal regime. They have been killing an average of 20 children on a daily basis for the last 20 months. So we know they have no limitations on killing civilians. We know they have no ethical limitations. And so overall, it depends on the other side. And it's unfortunate that the United States has decided to be on the side of a genocidal regime.
Mr. Ezadi, let me go back to my initial question of what happens next. But before you answer that, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu put out a statement which is very interesting. He called on Iranians to unite against what he described as an evil and oppressive regime. He also told them that Israel is engaged in one of the greatest military operations in history. First of all, what happens next, and what do you make about this statement?
You know, Iranians are united against an evil regime, and that's the Israeli regime. We had huge demonstrations yesterday. There is this rally around the flag effect. We are going to have huge demonstrations today. Even people who did not like the government that much, like their country. And they know that Iran was in the middle of negotiations. They know that the current administration is a reformist administration. One of their policy objectives were to have a negotiated settlement with the United States. They were interested in talks with the United States. And when these things fail, they are not blaming their government. They are blaming the Israelis and Americans. You know, the Islamic Revolution happened in 1979, 46 years ago. So we have a new generation of Iranians that didn't see why their parents were anti-American. Now they know why their parents had that revolution. And with the help of Trump and Netanyahu, they realized that Iran is facing aggression, and this is uniting the country. He's right, Netanyahu is right. The country is becoming united, but the country is becoming united against him.
Mr. Ezadi, finally and very quickly, the regions or the states that border Iran and Israel are wary. We are talking about Jordan, we are talking about Saudi Arabia. What's your message to the country people of these regions that neighbor you? Because right now, they are living in a state of precaution.
And this war could spread to the region. We have some American military bases. Iranian leaders have decided not to attack those military bases. But they have the right to do so, because the attack yesterday on Iran came through with the help of those American military bases. And they're much easier to hit because they're closer to Iran. Distance is very short, and Iranian ballistic missiles cannot be stopped if they're used against the targets that are close to Iranian borders. And this, if Iranian leaders decide to attack military bases, American military bases, which they have the right to because of the U.S. involvement in the attack yesterday, then you are going to have a regional war. Thousands of American soldiers will die. Iranians will die, obviously. And this is how you get wars started. Iran was not interested in war. Iran was interested in reaching a settlement tomorrow in Muscat, Oman. But the other side started this, and sometimes when you want war, you will get war, unfortunately.
Mr. Ezadi, during the strikes by Israel, several military leaders were killed, and we also understand that some scientists were also killed. What is the impact that has created in Iran?
That, as I said, has created a rally around the flag effect. People are more united than ever. You know, Iran is not a militia. Iran has a proper army. There are many officers, competent officers. So the officers that were killed will be replaced by others. The scientists, many of them university professors, have educated younger generation of Iranian scientists, so they will be replaced. And this is going to be a lesson for the Iranians for generations to come, that the country needs to establish deterrence. So this may change Iran's nuclear policy doctrine. We are facing a genocidal regime with nuclear weapons. So the question a lot of Iranians are asking is that why shouldn't we have the same capacity? And the Iranian government may succumb to public opinion pressure on that issue.
All right. Mr. Fouad Izadi, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much for making time for us and for talking to WION World is One.
Thank you.